Every year we get a new Formula One game, chronicling the season of the world's premier racing league. For 2014, the naturally aspirated, ear-piercing V8 monsters are no more, giving way to quieter, turbocharged V6s. And there's 2 new tracks. That's about it. But let's start on a positive note. F1 2014 carries over a lot of good things. It has all of the official tracks and drivers, dynamic track and weather conditions, and lots of tuning options that make a discernible difference in your car's personality. Even on a gamepad, the cars are accessible and easy to drive. Newcomers and casual fans can turn on all of the in-game assists to help them learn new track layouts, softening at least some of the learning curve. And the flashback feature returns as well, letting you turn back the clock and right a wrong move. But for those so inclined, all of the assists can be turned off. Much of the previous game's ambient sound design returns, although this year's engines, the new mandated turbo V6s, are noticeably quieter and less evocative. But Codemasters have done a good job replicating the soundtrack in-game. Unfortunately, that's where things start to go a bit downhill. Although the rain effects are brilliant, the rest of the game doesn't look so hot. When you're on track, the motion blur hides the problems, but climbing into the car in the garage shows you all you need to see at a glance. Textures are choppy, screen tearing is everywhere, frame rate fluctuates way too often, and track environments just don't feel real. It doesn't look any better than last year's installment. Aside from the carryover career and challenge modes, you're really not getting much here. In fact, some of last year's features are gone, including historical races with legendary F1 cars and drivers. Speaking of drivers, you still can't customize your driver, and the professionals in the game, their likenesses aren't really there. No matter who you play as or who you'd like to be, cutscenes still show you as generic white guy number 3 pumping his fists, making no noise. These things kill any immersion you might have gotten from the race itself. Although the races themselves can leave a lot to be desired, you're not always rewarded for driving properly, especially at the beginning of races when the AI has no clue what to do. The game often feels too easy. I tried the hardest challenge in the game, using high-grip option tires in the rain to win a race at Suzuka from the back of the pack. My final margin of victory was half a minute, and all I had to do was stay on track long enough for the field to pit. F1 2014 constantly reminds you that it isn't a true simulator, no matter how hard you want it to be. It's a big year for the franchise, yet F1 2014 doesn't bring that much to the table. It feels like it should have been an add-on DLC pack for last year's game, to hold us over until the current gen version releases. There's no real reason to buy it over the 2013 or even 2012 versions, unless you absolutely have to hear the new engines.
Got 2 temps down on Jensen.